Okay, welcome to lesson 74, compound interest. Lesson 74, numbers and operations. So compound interest deals with more complicated things like credit cards, and this is a little bit more complicated than simple interest. So let's get to our objective, our vocabulary. Okay, I want to take the time to discuss this one. Okay, so here's our equation. Our balance, our new balance is principal, and this equation right here, times 1 plus r, the rate over the number of yearly compounds, times the time. Now remember, the time is going to be in years. So if you're given months, you're going to have to divide by 12 to get the fraction of a year or decimal of a year to put into this equation. This equation is relatively new, and if you followed my advice from the welcome, you might see interest, compound interest, CI as compound interest, AE to the PRT, or something similar to that. I cannot remember right off the top of my head. It's something like that. I haven't seen this in a long time, so let me circle this in red. I have not seen this in a long time, but it was something like that. So you may see other equations out there for solving interest problems, and we're not going to worry about that. We're going to use this one. It's going to be simple. I'm going to walk you through it, and if you see another one, it should work. You may be a couple of cents off, maybe up to 50 cents off at the most. And we're going to round these numbers to the nearest hundredth because we're dealing with dollars and cents is 1/100th. So that's where we will stop. Okay, so now that we're in compound interest, you will need a calculator unless you can find a compound interest table. I'm not going to worry about compound interest tables, but I'm going to tell you that you will need a calculator for this one. So our equation is our, okay, so let's look at what we have here. So our balance will be equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate divided by the yearly compounds, which is given by the letter N, and now this is an exponent, times the time, and the time is in years. So as we set up this equation, we're going to put 7,000, 1 plus our rate, which is 8%, divided by, this compounds quarterly. Quarterly means divide by 4 times our quarterly compound times how much time is 1 year. And so let's convert this over into decimal form. 7,000, 1 plus 0.08, because you have to convert your percent into a decimal. And 4 times 1 is 4. And 0.8 divided by 4 is 0.02. 1.02 to the 4th power. And you're going to need a calculator for this. So let's show you how to put this in a calculator on the next page. Okay, so we had 7,000 times 1.02 to the 4th power. So on a calculator, what you're going to do, and I hope you got a TI-84. I hope you watched the welcome video, and I need to start seeing that in my intro. So you do 7,000, type the parenthesis is over the 8, 1.02, close the parenthesis, should be over the 9, and then hit this caret button, which is over the division symbol, and 4. So I'm using a TI-84. Now this is how you enter it into the calculator. So and when what you get out from the calculator is 7577.03. And there are some decimals after that, but we are rounding to the nearest hundredth. So this is the balance. And the question asks for the interest. So obviously you would subtract 7,000 from this number. To find the interest will be $577.03. And that would be the interest for this compound, for this principal compounded at these rate for that amount of years. So compound interest is very complicated. So that was our only example for this. So now that you've seen the equation, the numbers plugged in, try the two problems, and I will meet you at the end of the video for the recap. Okay, so find the compound interest. So the question is asking us for the compound interest, is not the balance. So the first thing we have to do is find the balance. So you got 10,000, 1 plus 7% compounded semi-annually. Semi-annually means twice for 2 years. So 2 times 2 is our compounded 2. So let me explain this another way. Semi-annually means that it's only compounded twice each year. So that's why it's the number 2. Some of you may get confused and think that it's compounded for 6 months, but that's not what semi-annually means. In terms of interest, it specifically means that it's compounded twice per year. So that's why we have this. So let's do this. 10,000, and that's a parenthesis. 1 plus 0.07 divided by 2 to the 4th power. 10,000. 0.07 divided by 2 is 0.035 to the 4th power. And when you do the same way, get your calculator. Some of you can do this on your cell phone. If you turn your cell phone sideways, you'll get a scientific calculator, and you'll put it in like this. But once you close this last parenthesis, you'll just hit the X to the Y button and then type 4. And that gave us 11,475 and 23 cents after rounding. But this is the new balance, and we want to know what the interest is. So we're going to have to subtract out the principal, the original amount, and so to find out what the interest is $1,475.23. So this is the final answer. Okay, problem 2. Our principal is $600. Our rate is 7%. Compounded monthly, so that means 12 times. Now look at our time, 6 months. So this means 12, and then 6 over 12, I'll do it over here, 6 over 12 equals 1/2 after dividing 6 over 6, which equals 0.5. And if I moved a little too fast, please go back and watch some of my fraction videos where I talk about how you got to reduce fractions down. 600. 7 divided by 12 is 0.083. Okay, 7% divided by 12, so it's 0.07 divided by 12. You get 0.00583, repeating. And then 12 times 0.5 is 6. So once you multiply all of that, you'll get $621.31. You may be a couple of cents off or a couple of dimes off if you only put 1 3. The more threes you put, the bigger the number will grow on. But it will only put you off a couple of pennies here and there. So if you stopped it at the 3, that's fine. I didn't. How I entered it into the calculator is I did 7 divided by 100, then I divided that number by 12, then I added 1, then I took and put that number into the parentheses. And one of the good things about the TI is it will remember answers. So if you have an answer, if you hit enter, you get an answer, and you just hit an operator, add, subtract, multiply, divide, and then type your other thing in. So if you have a number, if you did a calculation like 2 times 3 is 6, and you hit -4, the calculator screen will say answer -4, and you hit enter, and you'll come up with 2. So it'll do those things for you. So getting back, subtracting out the principal, our interest was $21.31 in this amount of time. That's the interest gained. And those are our 2 examples. So I really intended for you not to use a calculator in a lot of these. But once we get the percents, if you started using a calculator, that's fine, that's good. It was the hope that you would not use a calculator. But from now, there's only one more percents video I think we need to watch. And then after that, we're going to go back to non-calculator skills. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you have not watched the welcome or the intro to numbers and operations, please do that.